Hello and welcome to the Amy
And Kyle.
Adventures podcast, also known as the AKA podcast. We are reporting live from Istanbul Airport. Well, it won't be live when it goes out, but it's live in real life right now.
It's live for us.
Yeah, we are, it's day 20 today. We're doing no riding, but day 20 of cycling around the world, trying to break the world record for the fastest couple to cycle around the world. It's in line with the Guinness World Records and World Ultra Cycling Association rules. So it's an 18,000 mile ride travelling east. And yeah, we've gone from home in Derby in England and we're now in Istanbul. We've done 2,801 miles and we've spent 200 hours and 19 minutes on the saddle.
11 countries.
11 countries.
Yeah.
We've done England, France, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Serbia, Bulgaria,
Hungary.
I did that in the wrong order.
Yeah.
Hungary was after...
Before Serbia.
And then now we're in Turkey. And it doesn't feel real.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a blur, to be honest. It's been nearly 3 weeks, a day short of 3 weeks. It's gone fast.
It's gone really fast. Like, starting off with the set off, we had so many people come to see us off. And if you were there, sorry if I was a bit like tizzing around all over the place. I was a bit overwhelmed and I wanted to say bye to my family. And then I got upset. I started crying when I was leaving. I didn't expect to cry, but like when I gave my mum a hug, it all felt a bit like, oh, I'm not going to see them for so long. And I'm going to miss them. And I do miss them, but I'm okay now that we're on it. But so many people came and like they rode behind us and it was a bit like, whoa, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a whirlwind. It does, it has felt exactly how I sort of thought it'd feel. I thought the first few days and whatnot, I'd feel kind of like tough getting your body used to it. But then as we have got into a routine, it's started to feel just normal.
Yeah.
And now we've stopped at the airport, it's felt nice because my legs feel really good and I feel more refreshed.
Yeah.
But I feel a little bit out of sync of my routine.
Yeah, I feel a bit lost. Like, I feel like I had the best night's sleep last night. I got 8 hours sleep last night. Every night I've been getting
7
hours-ish of sleep, 6.5, 7. I've been really strict with, as soon as we finish the ride for the day, we get in, eat, stretch, sleep. I do my Instagram and YouTube reel. But most days we've been getting up at 5 every single day. Like the alarm's just 5 a.m. and we leave by 6:30. And then we've been finishing around latest about 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Apart from the Prague day. That was so long.
I took the blame for that one.
We didn't finish till like 10 at night because it was a long hilly day. We had loads of punctures. It was
slow going.
horrible.
But it wasn't slow going. The speed was pretty good. But the amount of climbing, we had like nearly 12,000 feet of climbing that day.
Yeah.
172 miles or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was a long day. And you did say, shall we actually just make this one a bit short and make the next day longer? But I insisted that we just get to Prague, which actually turned out to be a good decision.
Yeah, because it meant we didn't have to go through Prague the next day.
And that was quite busy. But yeah, it was, that was certainly a long old slog that day. It was a beautiful day though.
It was a really nice day, but then when we got there was nowhere open to eat and we were just walking around and I was so tired. And I ended up just eating a tin of peas and some cereal.
Yeah. But looking back at those days, it was kind of nice thinking back because we didn't have to worry about dogs.
Yes.
So then what came afterwards sort of took away from the enjoyment of just the simple fact of riding your bike.
Yeah, so as soon as we got into Serbia, from Serbia all the way to here, to be fair, Turkey's not been as bad. There's a lot of stray dogs, but they don't really chase you as much. But Serbia and Bulgaria was awful for dogs.
Yeah.
It was
Serbia were the worst.
It was just so bad, and like I was just riding along. Like don't get me wrong, it wasn't like I was hating every minute. I did have moments of joy, and like there were some beautiful places and beautiful views and mountains and things to look at. But I just felt so on edge all the time because after the first dog chase, then you're just constantly looking, thinking, is another dog going to come out? And they're quite big dogs as well. And
most of them are, aren't they?
to be fair, the first few that we had, because I've been having hot chocolate and a stroop waffle. I discovered stroop waffles in Belgium. Someone bought some for us. And ever since then, Holland, sorry. And ever since then, I've been trying to get stroop waffles. I've not had any actually since Serbia. So I made up my little song, and then so when we shouted at the dogs, I shouted, "Stroop waffle," because it's, like, quite a long word, and you can make it deep.
Yeah.
And when I shouted that, and also to make it a bit funny, to, like, try and bring a bit of lightness and less scariness to it. So I was shouting "Stroop waffle" at them, and they did listen most of the time, like, they'd, like, back off a bit,
Mm.
and if they didn't back off to that, you got your water bottle out, didn't you?
It'd work more when I shouted at them,
Yeah,
or if that didn't work, then like I said, I'd get the water bottle out.
yeah.
But then there was just one occasion
Oh,
where no water was saving us from that.
it was awful. We were coming down a descent.
Just leaving, it was going towards the Bulgarian border, wasn't it?
Yes, it
From
was just
Serbia.
yeah, end of Serbia. We were coming down a descent, it was raining, it was quite a technical descent with the road wasn't very good surface and it's a bit gravelly. And we saw this quarry coming on the left as we were coming down.
And it'd been raining.
Yeah, and as we came down and passed the quarry, about 20 dogs ran out and there was no people around. And some of them were little, but some of them were massive. There was this big, massive German Shepherd sheepdog one, a couple of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And one of them was next to me barking, like, getting its teeth out, trying to bite
Really
my leg,
close.
and I was literally screaming at it, and it wasn't reacting to me at all. It wasn't reacting to water, nothing. It was just
Didn't even react to me, the big one I shouted at.
no. And I don't know what would have happened. I think you meant to basically, you meant to slow down. That's what we did every time, is slow down so the dogs don't chase you as much. We slowed down, they're just, like, coming nearer to us.
Mm.
And then I was like, "You're meant to get off your bike and put your bike between it," but there's so many dogs, I wouldn't be able to. They'd just come around
And
me.
also, you didn't have the time to get off the bike because we
No.
were on a descent as well.
Yeah. But then, thank God, like, I don't someone was definitely looking out for us because we hadn't seen any cars for at least 2 hours, and just as they were chasing us, this car came from behind us and just helped us by, like, beeping and kind of, like, not running the dogs over, but driving towards them so they ran away.
Yeah, just usher them out of the way, basically.
Yeah, and if that car hadn't come, I don't know what would have happened.
I've never seen that amount of dogs in one go running for you.
It was
It
scary.
was most of the other chases up until that point had been manageable. There was a
Yeah,
few instances where there was like 4 or 5 dogs, but you could sort of deal with that a little bit because only a couple had chased you, a few had stayed back.
mm,
But all of these were like chasing you. So like it put it in perspective that the other dog chases were actually quite easy to deal with compared to that.
yeah, but after that, I was just so on edge.
But I think the worst thing is because people had told us about dog chases going into Serbia, as we were going in, we already had it on our mind.
It was already worrying us, yeah,
So then the whole time we were there, Bulgaria, and we knew there was some in Turkey, constantly for that whole section, you had it in your head.
yeah.
So you could just never relax. But then Turkey was actually a pleasant surprise.
Turkey, we were like, "Oh, look, there's more dogs, more dogs." They were really big ones, but literally no dogs have chasers in Turkey. They just look at you. Oh, no, we did have 2 farm dogs chasers, didn't we, at one point, but it
Yeah, but
wasn't
that's
bad.
because they were herding.
Yeah, and it wasn't that bad because they did run away when we shouted at them.
And the people were there
Yeah,
and they were herding some cows, I think, weren't
yeah,
they? And they saw us and come running towards us, but we did shout. The farmers were there, shepherds,
yeah,
and it was okay.
yeah.
And we just slowed down and then let them deal with it and then carry on.
But we're through it now, and hopefully there'll be less dogs, but
You did have
we'll
one
see.
big dog trying to play with you, which was quite.
Oh, yeah, one big dog was, like, running along, like, going "Ruff, ruff," and trying to play with me. It looked really happy and friendly. And then I got a bit upset yesterday because we saw a lot of stray dogs, and they're so scared of us. They were, like, running away from us and hiding in the bushes, and the puppies are so cute, and I just wanna bring them home and
Yeah.
give them a good life, but I have to remind myself, like, they're used to that, and there's nothing I can really do about it, but it is just really sad.
Mm.
Found that quite hard.
I think it's not nice knowing that the dog thing is such a big problem in this part of the world. And it is sad. And you do feel for the dogs, even in Serbia, the ones that are chasing you,
Yeah.
because you do feel like they're probably just more scared or like trying to keep you away or whatever, or they're just really hungry. And it's not nice, but you have to make sure you're safe first and foremost.
Yeah.
And I did have some canine spray, worst comes to worst.
Yeah. But the next leg is Bangkok to Singapore. That's gonna hopefully take us 9 days. We land well, at the time of recording this, we land tomorrow morning at 5:40 in the morning. Then we've got to put the bikes together and hopefully do about 60 miles the first day because we're gonna be jet lagged and we've got to get through Bangkok, which is gonna be fun.
But it'll get us out of the main city.
Yeah.
And then apparently people have messaged and said, I've had loads of messages saying like, Thailand is so good.
Yeah.
You'll love the roads. The
Mm.
road's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just worried about the heat, but it's only 9 days.
But the cars are a bit chaotic on the roads and sometimes they drive on the wrong sides and stuff.
Oh.
Um, but apparently you just get used to it and you just Apparently, you usually get loads of space in the shoulder, apparently like a meter,
Okay.
which is more than we've had in Slovakia and
Oh,
Serbia, etc.
what's been your worst day?
I know. So we've had.
What's been your worst day and your best day?
So to put it, it's hard to say worst and best, but to put it in context, we've had 17 days of headwind out of the 19. The one day we had a really good tailwind was in Slovakia, but I really didn't enjoy it just because of the sheer volume of lorries that were close passing and the constant noise.
Mm.
That was probably down to our route planning, but also just because we're trying to get there quickly. But I wouldn't say that was my worst day, but I'd say the worst day for me was the first day in Serbia, maybe, because it takes time getting through borders. Then we had the dogs, headwind. It was just not nice. So I'd probably say that was my worst day. Maybe even the day we got chased by that group of dogs, but then it did get a bit nicer that day, so it's hard to say that's the worst day. And my favourite day, oh, don't know, because I quite liked a couple of the early days in France. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what my favourite day is. What was yours?
Or favourite moment then?
Favourite moment? I keep thinking about when we got into Germany and had that car park picnic in that supermarket, and it was so simple. Like, it was nothing special, but that was a bit of a highlight. And even sitting on that bench in France for the first lunch in France, and we just sat on that bench and sun was out,
Yeah, that was nice.
and it just felt in France. You just feel relaxed anyway.
Yeah, it was relaxing.
And we just sat there, had lunch, chilled out, and then carried on riding. That
Felt
was
safe.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we've had quite a few rain shower, like bad batches of rain as well. Um, so yeah, we've had some bad stuff with that. Can't remember what was the worst batch of rain we had.
We had a really
I
bad
remember being
thunderstorm.
absolutely drenched.
We had a really bad
Oh yeah,
thunderstorm,
that was bad.
and it was so scary. Like, the whole sky was being lit up with lightning. That was in Czech Republic.
That might be one of my bad moments actually.
And we were in this thunderstorm for like 6 hours. So we had lunch and it was really sunny and nice. And then this thunderstorm just came over and like for
We could
6
see it, couldn't
it
we?
was just for 6 solid hours of torrential rain. I've never been so wet ever.
And it was black.
And the sky, yeah, and the lightning was so bright and like across the sky. And then we arrived at the accommodation absolutely drenched, and there was nowhere to eat other than like a petrol station.
And the hotel wasn't amazing to dry stuff or
No, there was nowhere to,
relaxing one.
yeah, there was nowhere to dry anything. There was basically no one there, and we just ended up having a sandwich in bed, absolutely drenched.
Yeah,
It was
that
horrible.
was rough actually. When we stopped at that bus stop and the hotel were ringing us
Yeah,
and we were just drenched. We had like another 10 miles to go. Yeah, that was pretty rough. I think people seem to think they see these pictures and obviously we're smiling and we're doing it, but there's been a lot of hard moments that you don't see
yeah.
that you sort of just mentally have to just get yourself through. But that's the same as any ride. Like that, what we're doing is nothing different to what everyone else experiences on some of their rides. Like, we always have
I
ups
think,
and downs
yeah,
every
I
ride.
think every ride you do have ups and downs. My favourite moments have been like just the like little moments of like the sun on your face when you're freewheeling down a hill, and like when we came through Hungary and there was like really nice views. And I think as well in France, just feeling quite content and relaxed because we've cycled there before. And also, like, there was this moment where we stopped by a fence, and there was a little park, and I was filling up my water bottle, and there was this little girl and her mum in Serbia, no, in Hungary, and
Hungry.
they were looking at our bikes, and the girl was really excited, and I gave her a sticker, and she was really excited, and that was just really nice, and just little moments like that. And then people have been so friendly in Turkey, like 80% of the cars have beeped and waved at us, and like people in the streets are like stopping, waving, like inviting us in for coffee and things. And it's just so, so friendly. And then I think my worst day was the day where we were in Serbia. We've been chased by dogs. The lorries have been passing really close. We cycled through Belgrade, which is the capital, at the end of the day. And I felt so overwhelmed and like just overstimulated, basically, just like everything was too much. And then we got to the accommodation. It wasn't in a very nice area. We walked in, it was so dirty. There was like I'm gonna keep this child friendly, but something made out of latex that was used in there. And I just felt so dirty and unclean, and like I was so tired, and I just burst into tears, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I was just so like, not that I can't do it, but I was like, this is just horrible. I just want to be at home, like with my mum and dad. Even though I don't live with mum and dad, but you know what I mean? I just want my mum.
I think at that point though, you've it's funny because you very quickly forget how good you have it in certain places.
Yeah,
Like, you go from somewhere like France, and you take it for granted how easy it is to be there, where there's no dogs chasing you, there's plenty of shops,
yeah.
like, the people are friendly, and then you go somewhere where you're just getting chased by dogs, lorries are just coming so close to you, the noise, the dirty accommodation, and then you like, all these things.
Not all of Serbia was horrible. There was really nice
No,
parts of
but
it, but
on
just
this
yeah,
particular
this
day,
particular day.
and, it was quite easy to, like, be in that moment and think, "Oh my god, I didn't even realise how good we had it in, like, Netherlands or
Yeah,
France," and, like, you didn't have to worry about anything there,
yeah.
and now you've got all these things where you're like, "This is," you just feel horrible.
And I think as well, like from the start, every single day, apart from France, all the way up until actually in Serbia as well, we had people come out and see us every single day. Like in the Netherlands, there was so many people. In Belgium, there was this man that came up with some sweets and he was at the bakery with us and we had lunch with him. In the Netherlands, we had like multiple people come and ride behind us and like people stopping and cheering us with signs and giving us street waffles. And even
Hungry.
even in Hungary, in Serbia, we had two guys come and ride with
Yeah, it's
us.
just
Like, it was mental that, like, people that follow us in Serbia and Hungary and Czech Republic. Slovakia, we had people. In Czech Republic, we saw the people from Ruvi because 'cause they're a sponsor and they're based in Prague. They came and rode us out of
every country
Prague.
bar France and Turkey.
Yeah,
We had
everywhere we've
people
had
come out for.
people, which has been so, so nice and so unexpected and a bit like, "Whoa."
Even the man from Hungary, he was an older chap,
Yeah.
and he watches our YouTube, but he didn't speak amazing English.
No.
He could speak a little,
Yeah.
and I always feel guilty because that's my fault that I can't speak his language. I'm in his country,
Yeah.
and he felt guilty that he couldn't speak English to
Mm,
us as very well, but he did have good English.
mm,
And it was just one of those things where we didn't have to talk, he was there,
mm.
and he was just super nice, and it makes you realise how everyone can come together, and it makes you feel really good.
Yeah, it's just been so crazy and, like, even at home in the UK, this woman that was so excited to see us just as we were coming near Portsmouth, and she bought us some banana bread,
Oh, yeah.
and that was so good, that banana bread, and I ate it on the ferry. I was so hungry,
Yeah.
and, like, just everyone's just been so lovely, and, like, it's been really nice having people along with us, but then at the same time, we both said, haven't we, like, we love people coming, but then we're both so tired, like, I worry that I'm not as, like, hyper as normal, and that sometimes it can be a bit like you feel like you're having to talk to people and I don't want to come across rude and stuff. So I have been a
Mhm.
bit worried about that. So it has been in a way, it's been a little bit nice that we've had nobody for the last 4 days.
Yeah, I think the trouble is
It's like nice. It's nice because at the same time, like whenever someone's come, it's boosted me. Like it's come at the right time. I've needed it. But then at the same time, it's like sometimes I feel like, oh, I feel like they're going to think I'm rude because I'm not talking loads, but it's just because I'm a bit tired or
also, I think it's
whatever.
hard to remember, like, we've been on our own for quite a long period.
Yeah.
It does take energy,
Yeah.
and sometimes me and Amy, because 'cause we're so comfortable with each other, obviously, we can just ride in silence for hours if we
Yeah.
need to
Yeah.
and not feel any sort of pressure. And this is no fault of anyone's, but when people ride with us, you feel like you need to have conversation, and that uses energy. And then sometimes little simple things like when it's just me and Amy together, right, we're just gonna stop here 2 seconds, go toilet exactly when we need to.
Yeah. I need a wee or something.
But when there's people with you, you almost feel like you don't eat properly or you don't drink properly or little things go a bit adrift.
Yeah.
So it's nice having people with us for a shorter period
Yeah.
because you can get that energy boost that you need, but also then if it's only for a short time, then you can get back into your normal swing of your day because it's really important that you keep that flow. It's hard to explain, but yeah, it's nice to have that consistency.
Yeah.
Um,
But then at the same time, like, I do like it when people come because I feel safe.
no, I love it
I
because
feel
it's nice.
looked after and safe,
Yeah.
which is nice. And I think people have already messaged us from, like, Australia and America and stuff, so I'm looking forward to that 'cause I feel like there will be people there, which will be really.
And even like that older German couple,
Yeah.
just riding down this road into a headwind and we're like, "Oh my god, this is hard.
Oh,
We
that
need
was
some
so
lunch."
good. Yeah.
And then there was just this car on the side of the road with a sign saying, "Go Amy Kyle."
And they had
And then the
fresh
boot
apple juice.
opened.
Oh,
They made their own apple juice. It was so good.
and they had bananas.
And they even had me a Red Bull.
It was so nice. Stuff like that's been so good and, like, just so unexpected. I'm so grateful for everyone and everyone that's made this possible because. Yeah, we wouldn't be here without all the people that listen and watch and, we're doing this for an important reason. We wanna show that you can do what you put your mind to. And, there was a time when I didn't wanna be here, and in all the hard moments, I've just been like, "Well, at least I'm here," you know?
Mm,
And there's people in the world that are really struggling, and hopefully we can
yeah,
help them. We've already raised, like, £6,000 on the charity donation, so we're really happy with that,
incredible.
and we know hopefully we can get more by the end. And when our YouTube videos go out after we get home, we have been recording YouTube. That'll all go out when we get home, because obviously we just don't have the energy, and we don't have a laptop with us to edit that, but
Mm.
that'll be some nice memories to look back at when we get back.
Also, like another mention
Yeah.
is there was a comment about how people say like during this record, we're not. How can we call it the record that we're doing? We're following the guidelines around the world, but also we can't ride through every country. And like the main priority for us was to always be safe
Mm.
and not take any unnecessary risks. And although yes, you probably could go through some of the countries we're not going through, we're trying to be as safe as possible. We don't take risks, like so. But there was yeah, someone, it made me think because we was riding along one day and someone before we'd started made a comment about, "Oh, how can you say this challenge? You're just riding through countries you want to ride through." And then as I was getting chased by dogs in Serbia and getting hounded by this massive group of dogs, and I was thinking, if I was to choose where I was riding, it wouldn't be right at this moment right now.
No.
Like, this isn't what I'd do as like a fun ride. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was just like, this is a challenge, and all the donations are just making it so worth it, and like knowing how much we can help people.
Yeah. But also we are enjoying it as well. Like, it's
Yeah,
been so nice, like, the routine of just getting up, riding your bike all day. Yes, we're doing long miles. We're doing 150, 160 miles a day. Our longest day's been 170 something.
was it?
And then the shortest day yesterday was just 52 miles to the airport, which was always planned because we wanted time to pack our bikes into cardboard boxes, which was a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, I'm trying not to think about when we land at Bangkok and have to put them back together.
You're stressed about it, but you're not the one putting them back together. So
Yeah,
you,
Kyle puts them back together, but then I feel guilty that I'm not helping. And then, yeah,
it's not. It's literally not that bad.
I just get stressed at, oh, imagine if we've left a part or we've lose a screw, or but we've put it all into little bags, so it
The
should be
funny thing
okay.
is, like, I've actually packed in little parts that are like you wouldn't think to pack, but as spares.
Yeah,
Because I know when I went to Spain once, I forgot one of the wedges that goes in the stem, and now I've chucked like four in into
yeah,
one of my bags. So I know if I get somewhere and I've like forgot the wedge again,
yeah,
which is something I've never done before, then I know I've got one spare or two spare. So I'm not worried, and I can always go to a bike shop.
yeah,
Like, that's my view on it. Like,
yeah.
you can worry about everything, but we'll sort it.
Yeah, when we get to Bangkok, we're going to pick up some more inner tubes. We've had 8 punctures so far.
No worn chains.
But yeah, we've had our bikes checked at a bike shop before we packed them. Our chains are both fine. Our brake pads are fine. We've both put new tyres on just to be safe. And yeah, we're going to pick up some more inner tubes. But so far, the bikes are doing well. They do need a bit of a wash. We're going to go put them through a jet wash in
When we get
Thailand.
to Singapore, probably actually.
Maybe before that, I think. Got to ride through the whole.
Yeah, it depends on what timing we sort of get. Maybe a quick rinse on the frame,
Because
but
it's only going to be a 10-minute stop to do that.
all the gears have been cleaned.
Yeah,
So that's the main thing. Like, you can get away with not washing the frame, but
yeah,
if we can, we will.
yeah,
But it's not the end of the world if we can't.
yeah. So that's good. And yeah, it's been like the routine each day has just been like get up at 5, eat. We always go to a supermarket the night before. We've been trying to get accommodation with a kitchen in. So we like go to a supermarket in the evening, get our dinner. We've been cooking our dinner every night. Every night apart from one night we've not cooked dinner. Um and then we get breakfast for the morning, eat, ride, and then we normally ride for 50 miles, then have a stop, have a snack, then we ride another 50 miles to 100 miles, have lunch, and then we have like 60 miles left or 50. So that's been working quite well.
Yeah, and I play a little mind game in my head as well, which I've not mentioned to you, is when I get to the 100-mile mark, I usually just say to myself, 50 miles. And even if it's a 160-mile day or whatever, I don't count the last 10
Mm.
because I always think the last 10 will feel easy.
Yeah,
And that's what I do. And like, I always said, like, before we started this, I said, like, I don't think the riding is going to be what I'm concerned about because I sort of knew in my head that your body will sort of get used to it
yeah,
and you'll get in that routine. And we have, haven't we? And it's felt good to get in that
yeah.
routine.
The only thing on my body that's been, I'm not worried about it, but like my knees ache. My knees have been aching. Not when I'm riding. There's no pain when I'm riding, but sometimes in the night I can just feel my knees aching. But I
Mm.
know that's normal because we've got weight on our bikes.
Headwind as
We're
well.
doing so much miles. And then I do have a little blister on my bum. But I've got Compeed and it's been working well. So just keeping on top of that.
Maybe this little period of
3
rest,
days off, yeah.
maybe a little bit help, but also we'll be mindful that we're going into quite a humid
Yeah,
section.
that's what worries me because now the Bangkok, Singapore is gonna be so humid and hot, and that's like a perfect recipe for saddle sore.
Mm,
So my game plan is chamois butter. I'm gonna buy some more chamois butter at the bike shop in Bangkok.
mm.
Got Vaseline as well, and I'm just gonna be stopping regularly to put that on. I've got wet wipes. Every time I stop, I'm gonna wet wipe and reapply just to get the sweat out. Sorry for that too much information, but I'm just gonna really try and do that, and that's all I can do really.
But also, like I keep saying to you as well, is the next section that we're about to do is less than half of what we've already done.
Yeah, it's only 9
So we
days.
can break that down pretty quickly. And it probably sounds ridiculous to say, but it's only 9 days.
Yeah,
9 days isn't that long.
yeah.
Like, so we can get through that, and then we're going to be in Australia, which is going to then be cooler again.
And then we'll probably wishing we were hot again.
Yeah, but it won't be humid.
Yeah,
So the managing the saddle sore for you might be a little bit easier.
yeah.
And then I feel like we can knuckle down again then because then we've got another 3 week.
Yeah, I feel
Right.
like we've been doing like we're actually flying 2 days ahead of schedule. So we shouldn't have been flying until the 22nd.
Mm.
We got a flexible flight, so we moved our flight 2 days earlier because we've gone faster than expected. Then Thailand, we're gonna keep the same. We're gonna stick to the 9 days we planned. And then when we get to Australia, we're planning on just doing the big miles again, like 160 miles a day. Just see how fast we can go,
And
really.
also by the time we get to Perth, we've worked out that we actually knock another, if we stick to the section we're about to do, well, look, the way the flight works is we will actually be another day ahead of schedule.
Yeah, it'll be 3 days.
So we'll actually be then 3 days ahead of our own schedule,
Yeah,
which is really nice. And then if we can knuckle down Australia, churn out some big miles again, not that we're not going to do big miles in the next section, but keep consistency for that 3 week block. And I think the easiest place where we're going to make even more miles up is probably going to be Alaska down to America,
yeah.
just because of the long days. We've got loads of daylight there as well, where we haven't in Australia, have we?
No. What's been your favourite food you've had?
Oh, favorite food. I mean, that Turkish kebab was pretty good.
Yeah, the only time I've eaten out has been for a Turkish kebab.
I mean, yeah, because we've been cooking, so like,
Every night I've just been, to be fair, every night I've just been having rice and
and it's
fish.
basically what we'd have at home.
Rice, fish, and eggs has been the main staple that I've been cooking, but it's done the job. But yeah, my favourite foods have been the street waffles.
Yeah,
Um,
they are so.
yeah, and then when we arrived in Turkey, we had the night in Kirkeskoy, and got there quite late because the
Cherkesskoy.
Cherkezkoy, because the Turkey border crossing took forever and it was so strict. And they scanned all our bags and everything.
First one where they've actually checked.
Yeah, so we arrived a little bit later than we wanted to, and then we went to this Turkish kebab place, and it was so good. And we also went to a dessert shop because we were just like, let's treat ourselves. We made it to Turkey, first time eating out, and I had pancakes with strawberries and banana, and you had a waffle, didn't you?
Yeah, with like bananas, strawberries.
And chocolate, and they were so good, and we ate them in bed, and that was really nice. Just
Mm.
a nice feeling knowing, oh, we're nearly at the airport. So that's been my favourite food. Um, oh, what about any arguments we've had? I think we've had 2 arguments. Well, tiffs.
I mean, yeah, for 20 days, it's not bad
But
getting
we've
rid, is it?
we've actually been getting on dead good.
I feel like we get on better on when we do these challenges.
Yeah,
And it's crazy to think, really, because you're in each other's company for so long.
yeah.
But we just know how to deal with
I
each other.
think we've done well at really supporting each other and like,
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, there's been moments where I've probably not been my most supportive
mm.
because it's a dynamic that you both tied.
Yeah, the only times I've had tiffs is like once where like when we go through the big cities, I'm a bit less cautious. I'm a bit more cautious.
Yeah.
I get quite stressed in the big places and like where there's other bikes coming towards your people and like loads of cars, and I'm just so much more cautious. So Kyle kind of like flies through.
I sort of just commit to what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
and whereas I'm a bit more like, whoa, 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 I feel like I'm gonna get hit or something. And
Mm.
then like there was one day where you were like, Amy, come on, going so slow. And I was like, I'm not going any faster
I
because
think it
I'm
was
gonna
just,
get hit. And
I
I
was
was
thinking it
like,
was just frustrating because it was taking us a long time to get
yeah,
through anyway.
yeah.
And then when you weren't being committing, I
Mm.
was just like, just commit and we'll get through.
Yeah, and then we had the knob incident.
Yeah, I did call you a knob, but that was after a double punch at the same time
Yeah, Kyle got
on your
quite
bike.
angry about
2
that.
punches on Amy's bike.
But other than that, it's been okay.
When people say about punches, that was just because of glass
Yeah,
in a little Bulgarian village.
yeah, there was glass and
And
yeah.
it's just, yeah.
And the other punctures we've had is because of like roads have been on been a bit horrible surface.
Yeah, I mean,
And then I think one of your punctures wasn't a puncture. I think you just thought it was.
yeah, I think one of them was a phantom one that
You were just like, "I was gonna
maybe
change it anyway."
but yeah, but it was one of those things where it could have just been a phantom puncture, but if I didn't change it and it was, then I'd
Yeah.
be really annoyed that I just pumped up and didn't bother changing it.
Yeah.
So I just changed it anyway, and I was like, because then I know I'm gonna be good.
Yeah.
But some of the roads we've been on, I don't think it matter what tyres you were running, like specifically going from Germany to Czech Republic. We had
Yeah,
the same
road,
we had
yeah.
the same thing last year when we did the recce ride, is I double punctured then, and
'Cause
then
the road surface is just
double
really
punctured
horrible.
again, and I was running different tyres then.
Yeah.
And the road surface basically like it is
Asphalt?
asphalt. Uh,
Asphalt.
it's
Why are you
but it's not tarmac, it's like asphalt.
asphalt?
Um,
Our asses are gonna have a fault by the end of
yeah,
this.
but it's like really prickly.
Yeah.
Like all the stones stick up out the road, so it was just like sandpaper on your tyre, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was horrible.
So it's so bad.
But yeah. Um, oh, should we finish off? I think we're gonna finish there because we've only not really got much time, to be honest, because 'cause we're gonna go in the airport now and check in
Yeah.
to our flight. But the next leg is Bangkok, Singapore, so it's Thailand, Malaysia, then in Singapore. If anyone lives around there, wanna come and give us a wave, feel free. We've got the route link in the description of this podcast and also the donations. Um, which finish off with Love Me, Lump Me.
Yeah.
One thing I've done that you love about me on this trip, one thing I've done that you lump about me.
Alright, yeah.
And how do yours?
There's one moment that sticks out for love you,
Yeah?
and I think I said it on camera and filmed it, was when we got into Germany and we stopped at the supermarket, and I was just like, I didn't even know what I wanted from the shop. And Amy just walked out with this. I literally didn't expect it. She walked out with this amazing sandwich, but then also like a coffee in her hand, a massive, really nice coffee, and a Red Bull. And I was just like, when I saw the coffee, I was just like, oh, this is why I love you. This is brilliant. She just knew what I needed. So that was the moment. And the lumpia was probably just when you get stressed in some of the cities.
Yeah.
But I can't like pinpoint it to one thing. But that's not a fault of yours. It's just the way your head is, and it is stressful. So it's not your fault as such. But it was just like, yeah, because I'm already stressed anyway. It's just like one of those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it really.
Oh yeah, and just before I do mine, for you, what one thing I will say as well is we've been like doing this thing that's been working quite well is where we do 5 miles each on the front.
Yeah,
So all day, every day, normally we do like 5 miles each on the front, and it kind of like helps the day go in a way where we're both kind of burning the same energy, which has been really helpful. Because that brings me on to mine for you.
there was a few times where, say, if it's a really hard headwind or you're a bit dizzy or something, then we'll just stay on for a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Or you'll be like, oh, I'll just stay on for another 5.
yeah,
We make it work, but it's just more than a benefit. It just makes time pass
yeah,
because then it always flashes up on the Garmin saying 5 miles.
yeah.
So then it's almost like, oh, you
And it's not like we're wishing the day away, but we all know that when you're doing a long ride, sometimes it does start
more
going
like
slow.
to drag a little bit into.
Yeah, and you just think, oh, I'm ready to finish now. But then it kind of helps being like, oh, I've only got 2 more turns on the front, then we've got bed.
Yeah,
But another thing is as well, like obviously we said we're going to sleep out some nights, but we were going to sleep out in Netherlands, but then we stayed in like a warm showers, which is like where people open the house up for you. And
right.
they said basically it's illegal to sleep out here and they do have patrol people. So then we
Yeah,
were like,
more than
oh.
just want it.
And then ever since then, like there's been dogs and I did not feel comfortable sleeping out where there's dogs. So we've said we're probably going to sleep out more like when we get to like basically the Europe at the end, potentially Australia, potentially Canada.
For me, probably not Australia.
I'm
Well,
I don't I think we should
probably for me more probably when I get to Canada, America, I'll be happy to.
yeah. I think we'll be alright in Australia, but we'll see how we feel.
I know even Jenny Graham didn't feel comfortable sleeping out there, so
Oh really?
in a book she literally like always looked for somewhere to stay.
Oh right, okay.
And then she stays in like toilet blocks and stuff, I think so.
Oh.
So yeah, I'd probably try and avoid it in Australia, I think.
Yeah. Well my love me lump me. No, love you lump you. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired actually. I'm looking forward to sleeping on the plane. They have sleep pods at this airport. I might go and get him one. I feel like I'm falling asleep, don't know what's up with me. So my love you is that how supportive you've been of like if I've struggled, you've been like, right, I'll go on the front for a bit longer. And you're always like asking me like, oh, are you okay? And just like making sure I'm okay when we're riding. It's really nice. And then my lump you Probably like it's probably the day when we got to the Belgrade and I was crying.
Mm,
And I was quite upset, and I think you've had a really stressful day as well. And you were like, "Just stop crying, like, what are you crying for?"
yeah,
And you got a bit annoyed at me.
yeah.
But I think it's more because you were like you had a really stressful day and you wanted me to be okay, but you just didn't really react in the right way at
I
that
think
time.
I think because if I'm having a stressful day or it's been just a stressy day, I'm not very vocal. I just like don't talk about it being stressful. I just sort of like keep it in. Whereas you got emotional, but in my head I was like, I'm stressed as well, but I'm not crying.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? So then maybe that's just how you react. But yeah, I felt really bad. But
No, then we were fine after that. We said sorry.
mm,
And then we were all good. And like you can't in these situations we're gonna have moments where we're both so tired and we are gonna say things we don't mean and we are gonna react in the wrong ways. But it's about understanding each other and understanding that yes, that maybe was a bit horrible, but you don't mean it just because we're tired.
mm.
And I know that and that's fine, but that's why we work well because we know
But it's also why
it's
couples
okay.
records
Yeah.
are just so different because it's a dynamic.
Yeah.
It's not just one person riding.
Yeah.
You've got other people to think about.
And then like also the other day when you were like I was on the front and the headwind was so bad.
Mm.
And you were like, "Are you okay?" As if like to say why. And then I was like, "Yeah, why?" And you were like, "You're going really slow." I was like, "Yeah, because I'm in the blooming headwind car. Do you want to go on the front?" I was like, "Don't tell me I'm going slow." And then you went on the front, and then I think you realised because then you were like, "Oh, this headwind's horrible." I was like, "Yeah, that's why I was going slow."
Yeah, I think it's because I know when I push into heaven, maybe go a little bit faster,
Yeah.
but my pushing's just yeah.
And then you push off the front, and I can't keep up. So then I'm just in the headwind
I
anyway.
then have to keep an eye on it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But anyway, it's all good.
that's quite funny though. To
It
be
was
fair.
quite funny. Oh, we'll finish off now. One more thing. Your meltdown moment. I know
I know
yours.
my meltdown moment.
Yeah, go on then.
It came after the last long day in Bulgaria.
Oh no, mine's a different one for you.
Is it?
Yeah.
This was one. There's been two actually. In the whole trip, I've only had like two meltdowns. By the way,
Mm.
one of them was the coffee incident.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking
I
of.
know you're.
The coffee.
That wasn't a really bad.
No, the coffee incident was so
It
funny.
was only
So
brief.
every morning Kyle needs a coffee, and if he doesn't have one, he's hell.
Although I've not been grumpy in the morning.
He's hell to ride with if he doesn't have a coffee. But he has been quite good in the mornings when he's got a
But this
coffee.
was like 60 miles.
We were in Amsterdam and this lovely man was riding with us as well. So it was a bit like awkward. And like because we want to keep going, we don't really stop very much. But Carl really wanted a coffee. So we were like looking out for coffee places. We came across somewhere, it didn't look that good. But I was like, oh, we can stop here if you want. But I'm not.
And I said, "Do you want to?"
You said, do you want to? And I said, because in my head I was like, well, I don't want to. It's you that wants the coffee, not me. So I went, well, I'm not bothered. But if you want to stop, we'll stop. And you took that as like, oh, don't want to stop. But I didn't mean that. I just meant, I'm not bothered, but if you want to stop, we can stop because I don't need anything, but you need
But
a
we've
coffee.
not had our first stop of the day yet. 60
No.
miles in.
And then you were like, oh, just keep riding then. And you were really
It's like,
mardy.
this is getting silly now. We've been riding for 60 miles without our first stop yet, and we're not even going to stop for a quick coffee,
I know. And then the man that was with us was really nice. He's like, oh, I know a really good coffee place down here.
which was super helpful.
And then it was at this little park and you got your coffee and you were happy then.
Yeah,
But you were like tazzing along and start like in a little rage, as a little coffee rage.
yeah.
And then your other meltdown was the last day in Bulgaria.
Yeah, I've only had two meltdowns, but the last one, we was having such a good day. Like, we were zipping along. I think it was a 170-mile day.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is the sort of day where you can just keep riding and riding. And it got to like the last 8 miles or something. And I was like, oh, this feels good. And we planned this food shop to get our dinner. But then it turned out there wasn't a food shop in the place before it was. And there was no shops around.
Yeah.
And then I was
so
like, well,
hungry.
what we're going to do for dinner? And she was like, well, we're just going to have to eat what's in our bags. And I was like, we can't just eat what's in our bags. We need to eat a proper food. We can't ride 170 miles and not eat properly.
Yeah, but my point was because we have emergency bars in our bags
Yeah.
that are basically equivalent of a meal. And I was like, yes, it's really rubbish. Like, we're both really hungry, we want a proper meal. But I was like, there's no point getting angry about it because that's not going to make it better. So I just said, oh, we'll just have to eat our emergency bars. I've got a packet of chocolate as well. So we can just have an emergency bar and some chocolate. And I said, it's not ideal, but I have to do. And you were just like,
But we had no
I'm not.
liquid either, did
You were like, I'm not doing that. I'm not riding 170 miles and having an emergency bar. It's rubbish. You're like,
because I built
riding
in my
off.
head of like, oh, this is what I'm going to eat when I finish.
You're like, it's rubbish, this is really bad planning. I was like, well, I'm sorry, like, it's not just me, is it?
No, but we both looked at it early in the day. Plus, we'd had a lot of rain.
Yeah.
That massive shower was.
Yeah.
But then the sun
But
came.
then we got to where we were staying. We had 2 punctures in one go. We got to the accommodation and the man said, oh, there's a little village shop down there. And we managed to get some rice.
Wasn't on Google.
Yeah, we got some rice and some fish and we had that. So that was okay. But my meltdown moment was in Prague because we got there so late and I was so hungry.
Oh, that was a bad.
There was nothing I could eat, nothing to eat, and I just ended up eating a tin of blooming peas and some horrible, too sugary cereal that I didn't
Well, I
like.
don't think you felt too good the next morning.
No, I didn't. And then my other meltdown moment was Belgrade when we got there. I was really upset.
But
Stressed.
these moments are high pressure.
Yeah, but they pass.
Stress.
They do pass, and then you get on the bike and you're okay. It's like last night I had a bit of a cry.
They pass a lot within 10 minutes, mate.
Yeah. Last night I had a bit of a cry because I started missing home a bit and missing my family and missing Chester. But your grandma and granddad have been sending us videos of Chester.
And FaceTime them.
Oh, they took him to a dog agility place and they're taking him on holiday and they took him to a car show. They're taking him everywhere and he looks happy.
I think because we saw the dogs yesterday, it makes you think of Chester.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, you realise how good we've got at home, and then you see that, so it does make you a bit more.
You realise how good Chester's got it.
Yeah, and how much of a good dog he is.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to go now. So we're not going to be able to do the podcast as frequently as we hoped because it's just so full on.
Maybe at the end of Singapore.
But hopefully at the end of Singapore before the next flight. So we can let you know how that leg goes. Or when we land in Australia because we're going to have a bit of time because we're going to go and get our bike serviced. So
the first proper service.
Yeah, we can record a podcast while the bikes are being done. So
good idea.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for the donations and all the positive messages. Sorry we don't have time to reply to them all, but we are reading them and it does help us keep going. So thank you so much for listening. TTCFN, ta-ta for now. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Adios.
Arrivederci.